What's going on? What's going on? It's another Monday night, and I got another good one for y'all. My name is Grace with Embrace the Grace, and thank y'all for coming. If this is your first time here, I especially give you a shout out and appreciate for y'all coming out here. You're gonna like what you're gonna hear here, because we here is a place where we embrace growth and healing. It's a place where it's okay to have the uncomfortable and awkward conversations, and we have a lot of thought provoking dialogue respectfully. We don't disrespect each other, we don't overtalk each other, especially the host and the co host and who's ever on the panel. And please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'm going to bring up what's kind of been my permanent co host now. So I'm going to bring up Gary D. And just in case, if you're wondering where else you can find me, I am all over. I am on TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, and Facebook. And everything is mostly Embrace the Grace. So let me go ahead and bring up Gary D. He is going to go ahead and introduce himself and let people know where we can find him. Mr. D, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good, Grace. I'm good. Thank you for having me again. Um, everyone. My name is Gary D. You could find me uh, every Friday night from 8 to 10 p.m. I have a podcast called The Real Discussion, and we also have the hard topics, right? And we talk about everything. But also, I am president of Boardwalk Global Media, where we have a number of podcasts that we do every week. It in addition to some other entertainment projects, and I'm also owner of ESI Global Group, which is a management entertainment management and consulting company. And I'm just glad that Grace has me on her show. I support her 1,000,000%. And let's get into it.
All righty now. So today I have to say I'm dedicating this show to my male best friend, James Turner, aka Big Man. Okay, we have been friends for 24 years. And I'm here to prove to people that it is possible for a man and a woman to have a friendship and to have a friendship that is platonic. When I went around asking people their opinion and their views on this, I got from one end of the spectrum to the other. So I got a lot of juicy information. I got a lot of, regular information because you know me, I got to go over everything because there are actually benefits to having a platonic relationship. But with that being said, I've already got some comments up here. So
Mhm.
let's see. I got Matthew. Where you at, Matthew? Where you at? He says, "Good evening, my love, Grace. Good evening, Matthew. How are you?" And then for you, good evening, Mr. Gary. Hope all is well. So I mean that's what I'm saying. You kind of like my permanent, co-host. Um,
Gotcha.
And Mookie, I see your comment, but for some reason it's telling me it's under review. I don't know. YouTube does some funny stuff. So, but I see you. I see the thumbs up in the heart. Everybody, don't forget to press the like button. We need that for the algorithm strive. So, Gary, platonic relationships between genders. Are you a yay or nay for them?
Platonic, yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, look, I've I've had some platonic relationships in the past, so I mean, it's real. It can happen. It doesn't always have to be about sex. I think that there's a misconception um, that just because you're a male and someone's a female and y'all are friends, at some point they expect you to have sex, and it's not really that. I mean, there are there are platonic relationships out there, and I can say I've had about three of them, so I know. I could tell you from
And
firsthand experience.
Okay. And out of those three friendships that you have with women, were you at any time in a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that being said, the person that you were in a relationship with, how did they feel about you having female friends?
So it's
I gotta ask. This is how I
no, no,
interviewed
no,
my best friend,
hey,
and he had to ask some questions.
hey, no, you have to ask the real hard questions. I mean, um I've always been someone that's a communicator, as you know, and um with one of the relationships that I was in, she had a problem, I guess, because of her past relationship, because I guess the guy that she dealt with, he cheated on her with one of her friends. And I was like, look, that's your past. Like, here's what the deal is, right? This person's been in my life for a number of years. Nothing's happened between me and her. Now, if you can't handle that, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, um, I have, sometimes I could, well, not sometimes, I think I could be brutally honest, or
Mhm.
what's the word I'm saying? Maybe things come out a little too harsh because I mean, I've been told that a number of times, but
That's
it's
the New
like,
York swag, Gary. People can't
yeah,
handle
it's
that
like,
New
but I
York
mean, that's the
swag.
only way they're gonna get it, right? That's the only way they're gonna get it. Because if I explain to you, like, look, this person's been in my life, close, very close friend, nothing's going on. I even said, if you want to hang out with us anytime, you can do that. So I'm not like, it wasn't even like I was hiding anything. You follow me? Like,
Did you
if I was
introduce her?
hiding something, right? If I was hiding something or keeping something away, then you know what? She could have had an argument, a valid argument. But it was not like that. But it was just her insecurity from her past relationship, or her baggage from her last relationship, that wanted to literally argue with me and even insinuate that, oh, well, something between you and her either has happened or is going to happen. I'm like, so yeah, so that was one of my experiences.
Now, did you introduce her to your friend?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think
Did you
here's this.
go
So
ahead?
and I mean, both of them were pretty. So it was, but she felt, I don't know, a little jealous or what have you. Like, I'm giving her more attention, which that was never the case. So again, so it was, I did what you're supposed to do. Like, you introduce your lady to, if this woman has been in your life and she's been a great friend, you introduce them. You know, actually, we went out for dinner, drinks, and had fun. And she still had an issue. So
Okay.
it was her insecurity, because it was like every little thing. Like, and if I would have known that in the beginning of the relationship, I would have never dated her.
That was going to be my next question. Were you willing to risk that relationship for the
Absolutely.
friendship?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because I can't, you know, if I'm going to date her, like, she has to be secure in our relationship. Right? If I tell her this is what it is, then she has to know this is what it is. Gary is not lying to me. He has never shown me any reason why he's lied. I'm not getting any feelings that he's lying. So if she can't handle that, then then and eventually the relationship broke up. But it's like, when I'm dating a woman, she has to be secure in our relationship, just like I'm secure in our relationship. Like, I've never been the
Did
guy, if the shoe was on the other foot, why are you talking to him? Do I need, like, I'm not that dude. Like, I'm not that dude. You know what you're supposed to do. Like, if
Gary,
you want to invite
doing
me out,
my research, doing my research for this
yeah.
show, I realized that the men that quickly say, "Oh no, you can't have no friends." They just don't have the mental maturity or capacity to deal with that. Vice versa. Because, like you said, if you're telling the person who they are, and I'm introducing you who this person is, and I'm telling you, I mean, I've been best friends with this man for 24 years. He is the brother that I should have had growing up.
Right,
He
right.
has done
Understood.
things for me. He has done things for me. He knows things about me. It's just, I'm sorry. I am not going to risk a new relationship over somebody that I've known for 24 years. And I've not introduced all the guys that I've dated to him
Yeah,
because
yeah,
some of
yeah.
them don't even make it to meet him.
Right,
So
right, right, right.
if I introduce, like, he's my brother, and he checks them out for me and he talks to them for me, he vets them for me like a big brother should.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
if I introduce you to him, that means you may be going somewhere with me. I've embraced you and you may be going somewhere with me. And you have an issue with it. Am I willing to change my behavior? Like, okay, I won't take phone calls after 10 o'clock from him. I won't hang out with him by myself. It'll always be us three. I will make it where the other person feels comfortable and secured. But if he gives me an ultimatum, it's either him or my best friend, he's out. And I'm so,
Yeah,
and I'm sorry to say, I'm you cannot compete with somebody who's been in my life for 24 years. My mother knows him. They became close. They used to go out together without even me knowing. I used to come home and my ex-husband and him be in the backyard drinking their OEs and grilling. My ex-husband accepted him. He was a groomsman in our wedding.
right.
So it's not like, and he's not cocky or arrogant with it. He knows his place, but the thing is that people forget that we have a past before we met them. And
Absolutely.
if I just met you and you haven't even made the 90-day probationary period, you asking me to cut loose somebody that's been there for me for 24 years? No. It ain't happening, Gary. And
Yeah, yeah,
honestly, I have lost some prospects because of him. Some guys
yeah.
couldn't handle it. Nah, there's no way y'all never fuck. Nah, there's no way he's trying to fuck and whatever. So last night we had a heart-to-heart talk, and I asked him some of the questions. And the main question, that because a person that comes up here right away and says, "Oh, he's just waiting his turn. He's just going to wait until there's a vulnerable moment, blah, 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 blah." So I asked him that question. I said, "Jay, and I need you to be really honest with me because I'm putting this shit out there. If I
Hmm.
ever gave you the opportunity to fuck, will you fuck me?" And you know what he said? If this was 10 years ago, maybe, if you were single and I was single, or when we first met, maybe, but not now. I'm
That's
not risking
right,
24
right.
years of friendship. And I know how your ass is. You kick me to the curb, and I'm not risking that. I get 110% out of you as a friend versus taking a chance and maybe only getting 80% of you. And he says sex ruins shit.
It does.
And
It
then
does.
he
You're
and then
right.
he said, "Besides, I know you too well. I know how you move. You know me too well. I can't lie to you. You know all my hangout spots. You know what I do. It's too, there's no mystery to each other." And a lot of people say, "Well, maybe that's a good thing. That's a good, strong foundation." No, I got too many. I got a whole cemetery from him. in my closet, and he's got my whole summers. It's just better. And I talked to him and I said, you know what? I don't need to take, because sometimes I suffer from anxiety. I don't need to take antidepressants. You're my therapy. We
Okay,
talk about everything. We laugh,
good.
we cry. He gives me advice on guys that I'm dating, and he'll tell me straight up, "No, mama, that's not the one for you. But if you like it, I love it." And it's like he goes through the relationship with me, just like I've gone
Right.
through his relationship with him. And it, I just have to let it out there that people need to recognize that platonic relationships are possible and they're healthy. So, with that being said, Gary, here we go. What is the
Well,
definition of a platonic relationship? Go ahead.
let me just say, when it comes to ultimatums, yeah, that I don't do that. Like, I don't play
I
that.
don't do well with that.
Yeah, no, that's just let's just end it right there. There was I had a situation a couple of years ago where a lady I was dealing with, she was it basically came down to me telling her, I said, look, this person has been in my life for about 14 years. So she's 14 years ahead of you, right? So,
Hmm.
you know, I don't know what to tell you, right? She's a close friend of mine. This is how we've been. Um, but nothing happens. So, you trying to get to where you kind of trying to get to where she's at. You understand? Like,
Hmm.
so when she obviously couldn't get it, so obviously eventually it fell apart.
And it is what it is. Look, he is the godfather to my son. I am the godmother to his daughter, his stepdaughter from his relationship. We were
Hmm.
supposed to have kids together so both our kids can grow up and be best friends, but
Right, right, right,
that never
right.
happened. I mean, we planned it. And it's the funnest thing when we go to the club or we go hang out. I love it because one, I feel safe. Two, if a guy that I don't like tries to holler at me, I just make pretend I'm with him.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
if a guy that I like does holler at me, oh, that's my brother. You know what?
yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah,
and he does the same for me. And
yeah.
I mean, it just works. And the funny thing is, Gary, the glue that keeps this relationship together is food. We are
Okay,
foodies. We
good. Okay.
compete. When we first met, we were competing. He swore his lasagna was the best. I swore my lasagna was the best. And that's how it is. He had a woman he had a long-term relationship. We became friends. We was cool. But sometimes she would go through her moments about
Hmm.
me, and I
Yeah,
would get put on timeout. He'll call me and be like, "Hey, we can't, I got to put in my attention, sometimes." And I hated it, and we hated it. It don't matter, they're not together anymore. But he would come over and hang out, and she would not know. And I hated the fact that that was the case. But how do you stop two people who's been best friends for so many
yeah.
years
You can't
because
do
you're in
that.
your feelings? There was a lot of times where she would come over and they would come over, we would sleep over together, and because I had an extra room. So hold
Hmm.
on, I got let's talk with JBJ up here. Let me get him up on the screen. Okay. How you doing, Jay? You're on the screen. Maybe I should just I'll wait till he's there. So,
Okay.
I mean, I say all this to say I say all that to say this. We need to stop being insecure and stop getting in our feelings,
Hmm.
because some relationships are legit. And I get it. Some are bullshit. People lie, people betray, but you got to vet the relationship. You got to see what's going on. And you can't
Absolutely.
just, or like, okay, perfect example. The last guy that I dated, I introduced them, and I asked him, "So what do you think of Jay?" He said, "He's cool, but he's a little too touchy when he drinks."
Mm.
I'm like,
Right, right.
I'm like, okay, And then he expressed the fact that he didn't like it, that he called. at 1:30 in the morning, and that's because he gets off late. I said,
Okay.
okay, no problem. Because I was into this guy, I was willing to make the adjustments.
Mm.
I said, look, I'll tell him that he can't call past 10 o'clock. But if it's an emergency, he's got that access. Hold on one second. Jay's there. Good evening, Mr. JVJ. How you
Mm-hmm.
doing? Are you muted? You're on.
I was on mute. What's up, y'all?
What's up? What's
How
up?
you doing,
How y'all
sir?
doing tonight? How
It's
y'all
all good.
feeling, man? Y'all getting jitty around here?
Jay, I noticed that I put the wrong date when I didn't see the countdown. You know, when it says going live 10 minutes? I said, wait a second, why isn't my timer on? It was actually for tomorrow. So I changed it real quick. So I'm thinking that's why that happened. But thank you for coming up here. I do appreciate it because Mr. J is one of the ones that absolutely does not agree with platonic relationships, and I wanted him to come up here so I tried to explain to him that it is possible. Not every guy wants to fuck. Excuse my language, but I got to put it out there because that's how we are over here. We don't sugarcoat shit. We don't, walk on eggshells, right, Jay? We are like it is. So
There you
before
go.
I get into my technical information, how do you feel about opposite sex platonic relationships, Jay?
You already know how I feel about it.
I know, but my audience doesn't know and they got to hear it.
Men and women can't be friends.
I don't agree, Jay. That's just not every guy wants, one person told me if the chick is ugly, I'm not looking to fuck her. So I can be, I could be friends with her.
All right, well, here
So
go.
what
Check
if you
this. Explain this to me then. What does a woman bring to a friendship that a man cannot get from another man?
I can give him a perspective on women? Because if I want to learn about a man, I usually go to a man. If he wants to learn about a woman, he should come to a woman.
Hell to
So
no.
I would say perspective. I would say perspective. I would say companionship. I would say therapy. Because when me and my best friend talk, I'm like, I don't need a Paxil. I just need to talk to you for a good 20, 30 minutes and I'm good. you know, do things together. You know what I'm saying? That's what a friendship of the opposite sex can do. The only thing is that does not take place is sexual intercourse. Nay, you're like, oh, and here comes Matthew. He talking about, I agree with Jay. Look at this. I agree with 100%. Really, Matthew.
Look,
I know you, right?
Grace, you said what? Perspective. What else did you say?
I said companionship.
Get it from a
I
guy.
said I need to go do things. Maybe okay, well, maybe his girl didn't like sports. I was a sports freak, so we would go to games together. So you know what I'm saying? Perspective, companionship, doing things, and just having a friendship.
No. No. I don't even know. Hey Gary. Hey Gary,
Yeah,
real quick question. You gonna have a wife? You gonna let her hang out with her guy friends all the time?
I've had a girlfriend where she hung out with her guy friends. I had no problem with that.
You ain't a problem with that?
Nah,
Mm.
ain't nothing never happened.
How you know?
I know.
DJ,
I'm saying, but how do you know?
go ahead.
How How do I know nothing never happened.
How do you know, Gary? Women
I
are very
How does he know
good
if
at
anything happened with his
Oh,
friend?
bro, listen, you ain't got, I understand what you're saying. I know women can be very sneaky, even better than men. Trust me, I know and completely understand that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't dealing with that type of chick, right? I was actually dealing with a woman that was really good and well grounded. So nah, and it was nothing where she was, she was doing things that I didn't know. Right? If she was hiding and doing stuff on the down low or sneaking or behind my back, then yeah, that'd be completely different.
Well, you don't know that, so that's what I'm saying.
But
See, how
there's
you supposed to know what the girl best friend and the boy best friend is doing when you're not there? That's just a straight cover up. Ain't no such thing as girl best
see,
friends.
I think that's for cats that don't. Okay.
Look. The main reason I say this because there is absolutely nothing a woman can bring to a man in a friendship that he cannot get from a man.
That part.
There's nothing. There is absolutely. You talked about Grace talked about companionship. We have best friends that are dudes. That's my companion. That's my compadre. You talk about conversation or perspective. I'll be honest. As a dude, I don't want a female's perspective.
But see, that's you. See, that's you. Now, me talking to, hold on a sec. Now, me talking to one of my close female friends, one, I definitely want to hear her honest opinion on something. And two, it's a different female energy than from what my lady is. And I'm okay with that. Right? So sometimes, we could bond with our boys on other shit, which I'm cool with. But when you have a female best friend, it brings a different female energy that is really platonic, and you could have conversations with her and get her views on different things. It doesn't always have to be fucking. Trust me, like I've been there.
Yeah, I'm not saying that like I don't get why you like because I think everybody's getting caught up on the word friend. How about you say you have a female associate?
What if a friend associate fine?
That's
you
what
can't
I call
be
them
friends.
associates.
Friends hang out and do things together. Men and women cannot be friends hanging out and doing shit together. Well, now, associate is something completely different. Like friend, think about your guy friend, like your homeboy. The stuff that y'all share with each other, the things that y'all go through with each other. You telling me you doing that with a woman that you ain't smashed?
It's just like when a group of guys get together and they see a group of bad bitches walking by. Oh, I'm a bag that bitch. You could say that with a lesbian, but half the time if the girl's straight, oh, I don't want to hear about your sex life. Then you're not my dog. If you ain't trying to hear how I'm digging her back out or something, like you're my boy. This is what we do. I don't need that from a female. I can't talk freely around a female like that about things that I do with my dogs.
But I am living proof. I am living proof. I have a male best friend for 24. Jay, I asked him because you missed this part of the show. I interviewed him last night, and I asked him. I asked him, Jay, if I give you the opportunity to fuck, would you fuck me? And he said, if this was 15 years ago, yes. But because we're older now and we've been friends for so long, and I know how your ass is, I am not going to risk a 24-year friendship for sex. I'm
Grace,
cool.
I don't know.
I don't know
if you think that makes your argument good. I hope you don't think that made it sound better. Because maybe like you say he got to know you, so he was like, oh hell no. Or I ain't gonna tell you the other one.
Whatever. He's so annoying. But it's okay. It's okay to agree to disagree.
It ain't about agreeing to disagree. It's about the simple fact that you want Women want to have the ability to be friends with guys. Women feed off of attention. When a man is a friend with a woman, she gets the benefits of everything that comes along with being a man, like having a man. When a man is friends with a woman, there is no benefit to him at all.
We pay for everything. Oh, can you do this for me, best friend? You get benefits from
what
it.
do y'all do for us?
That's not true.
What does a female friend do for a male?
A perfect example. It was his birthday, January 15th. He came and picked me up. We hung all weekend. I made his favorite meal. I got him a cake. His roommate bought him a bottle. We chilled all weekend. We went to the Martin Luther King house, took pictures, and it was innocent. We were supposed to go roller skating, but we old and we got tired hanging out all day.
Old ass.
But it was 100% platonic. Huh?
Hey, Grace.
What'd you say?
Why did he have to come pick you up? Why didn't you pick him up? It's his birthday,
because
right?
I don't have a car right now.
Oh, okay. Now,
yeah.
When did you just do this?
Okay, but he wanted me to be there. January 15th of this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Keep going.
Because he lives in Georgia. He moved to Georgia three years ago. He said, "I want you to come spend my birthday with me."
How old is he?
He is Grace, 49. 49.
You gotta understand.
Oh, he out the game, man. He out the game.
What was?
You gotta understand. James is a whole different type of breed, though.
Older people have the mental capacity and the maturity level to understand that it's not all about sex, Jay. You know, my ex-husband, I introduced him to my ex-husband and they ended up becoming friends. I would come home and they'd both be in the back drinking OE.
That's some messy ass shit, Grace. And I done told you that's some messy ass shit. Stop doing that shit, man. Stop bringing.
How is that messy? It's messy when you're lying. You're doing shit behind people's back. That's when it's messy. He was a groomsman to our wedding. Look, he knows my mother. My mother loved him. They used to hang out.
Jay, I can honestly say that James, he's a great man. Like, I know him personally as well. Like,
yeah. I ain't saying he messy. I'm saying Grace is.
Grace ain't messy. She covered her tracks very well.
Because I don't do shit behind back.
Yeah, Grace let you know straight up.
Either you're gonna accept it or reject it.
But that's it. I think that when you do stuff that is sneaky or behind someone's back, or you feeling that the person's sneaky, then that's just problems. That's going to be problems. But then also you have some people that bring in their trauma from their other relationship into this new situation.
They do that. I will give you that.
I already know the type of man that Gary is. If me and Gary was to date, he wouldn't have him and Big Mel being friends because they have a lot in common and they'll be bullshitting. It's when, and I'm like I said, Jay, I'm willing to change the conditions. If he tells me he's not comfortable, I won't hang out with him by myself. I'll make sure that he knows everything. I'm willing to negotiate. To give me an ultimatum and tell me it's either him or me, nah. I'm not losing a 24-year
ultimatums don't work. Ultimatums is dead on arrival.
Look, I'll tell you this. You know how I talk about in most conversations that I like to have. I always talk about majority or minority. What's the rule? What's the exception? You notice how I talk about stuff, right? Waiting on Grace.
Yes.
All right. Majority of the time.
Yes, I said yes.
Okay. Majority of the time, men and women cannot be friends. Now, there are exceptions. There are always going to be exceptions. I agree with you. They're like, look, I done had great friendships with older women at retirement homes. Like, she'd tell me all her stories from back when she was thotting back in the 60s and 40s and shit. It's cool. We cool. She imparted a lot of nice lessons on me. We're friends. But if I meet a chick that's around my age or like a little bit younger than me or a little bit older than me, if we hanging out, I'm gonna smash that. Like that's gonna happen. Like, I don't know why we sit around here playing. Like, yes, there are exceptions, but majority of the time, and yes, you can throw in age. At a certain age, people might get away from that. But men and women only come together when it comes down to doing one or two things: fucking or sucking.
Fucking.
I don't know. Like, I'm
oh my God.
It ain't about nothing else but that. Like, I get
I
that
knew you were gonna say that. I'm like, I hope you don't say it.
I get.
And here's my goddaughter. She's here, and she was. And here's my goddaughter. Here she is. She says, "That's my dad. That's her. That's my baby girl." Because I told you I'm having a show and dedicating it to
what's going on, Per?
She saw us grow up. She grew up seeing the friendship. She grew up when her mom used to kick him out, and I would have to keep him at the house for 2 weeks, and then he'd go back to her. It's like I was dating all of them too. We just been through too much, Jay. But let me get down to the definition of relationship, because I did all my research.
Definition, though, before you get down to the definition, you told on yourself, because you did say if it was 15 years ago, that's what he said. It's 15 years ago, he would wore that ass out.
Yeah, but it never happened.
So he gave up then.
Because I set boundaries.
Yeah, he gave up.
Well, he could have given up, but the fact still remains that it never happened. We're still friends, and we're still going strong. 1999, we met. Okay? So the definition of platonic relationship is by friendship and lacking romantic sexual aspect. Good boundaries, open communication are key to the health and success of a platonic friendship. Good boundaries. I set the boundaries, and he has never crossed them. Easy as that. And open communication is the key to the health of a successful platonic relationship. What was that, Jay?
I said most men don't cross that boundary. Like, they know when they in the friend zone. Some dudes might try something, but as soon as a girl be like, "Nah, what the hell are you doing?" and stuff, they be like, "Oh, fuck." And it's kind of ruined. Most dudes are scared to even make a move on the chick because they don't want to ruin what they possibly had with them. But it's still, like, the rule still stands. He said 15, if it was 15 years ago, and you said y'all met in 1999, so that's way longer than 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all met in 1999, he was ready to tear that ass up. And 15 years ago, he gave up on it. So it's still true from the beginning. Maybe if he go, change your thing up. Men and women can be friends if she don't give him no pussy for 20 years. Change it up to that. If somehow he's still around, if he's still around
look,
at the
I'll even tell you how we met. His brother was initially trying to hook us up. Mm-hmm. Hey, I got a single friend. I got my brother. He's single. So they came over. We met, and the sparks didn't fly in that direction. But the sparks flew in a friendship because he challenged me on my lasagna, talking about his shit was better than mine, and it was a cook-off. And we've been friends ever since. Why are you laughing, Jay? Why are you laughing? When you meet somebody and it doesn't go that route.
Of course.
Like, why are you laughing?
I've been there.
It just never went that. Ended up becoming.
It's just funny because, like, literally, you telling me this dude wanted to mess with you, and he stuck around. And literally,
I didn't say he wanted to mess with me. We met through his brother because his brother was trying to hook him up and hook me up. So it was a blind date, and it didn't pop off, but it popped off the other direction. And
I'm saying you know that he wanted to mess with you because he literally told you if it was 15 years ago, he would have messed with you. So that meant from the very beginning that he wanted to mess with you when he met you. And y'all was supposed to be linked up on a blind date. So clearly, when he saw you, you said the sparks. You said the sparks didn't fly. You weren't feeling him. That's the only reason nothing didn't happen.
I mean, I can agree 50% with that because he could have pushed the issue.
What he wants to do? Grab you like, come here, girl. What he wants to do? Grab your ass?
Because as the friendship progressed, he could have asked me out again. He could have, you know what I'm saying? But he didn't. Once he saw that he was in the friend zone, he stayed his ass in the friend zone, and we stayed friends for 24 years.
Yeah, he was sitting there lurking. He was lurking. He was lurking. Oh, he was like, man, let her come home drunk one night.
Ended up being
let her call me when she fucked up. I'm gonna tear that ass up. I know them.
That's why, and you see, and that's why my baby girl here, you know, her mother, they dated for years. I knew her daughter. We became family, and it's possible. But let me continue with my information, Jay. A relationship between two people that entails no sexual feelings nor lewd thoughts, but rather plainly just being friends with that person. Your basic friendship with the opposite sex involves deep friendship. People involved have no desire for physical intimacy, and no physical intimacy or sex occurs. So in 24 years, none of that occurred. And you're right, maybe it could have occurred if I allowed it, but it never happened. And plus, when we started getting to know each other, and I was telling him about my guys I was dating, and he was telling me about his peoples, it's like, come on now. We both knew, we drew the line in the sand. This is definitely just going to be a friendship, period. And it stayed like that, and it has been like that for 24 years and go. You still not having it.
You drew a line in the sand. He didn't draw no line in no sand. You drew the line in the sand and said, you not going to give him none. If you would have offered it up or said, look, let's do this, he would have tore your ass up.
Do you have to put it in there, sir?
Okay,
that's my bestie, and I'm not even.
What you want? What you want? You want to make love to you? I don't fucking know. It all depended on you, Grace.
Platonic friendship feels like both. But it always depends on women. Women have access to sex, so that ain't nothing new. We're the ones that dictate. We control access to sex. So it would only make sense that I was the one that set boundaries. Men control access to marriage, and women control access to, So a platonic friend, both people feel that they are safe and free to themselves. I can actually be my man. I could be goofy, silly, cry, no makeup. And I know I'm not going to be judged. He going to tell me like it is, and he going to give it to me. He's not going to sugarcoat anything, but I don't have to, he's going to make a move. I don't feel like he's going to judge me because friendship is so genuine. People who share a platonic relationship have but they also recognize each other's personal, try to force the other to do things, and things that they don't want to do or be something that they're not. That's some of the benefit of a platonic relationship that you're not going to be able to have with your boys. Some of your boys are judgmental, will talk shit to you, will break you down. You know what I'm saying? Where women might. That's the difference, Jay. There are a number of characteristics that indeed distinguish a platonic from the to the lack of sexual aspect. A platonic relationship also tends to be marked by one, closeness. Both people in the relationship feel closeness to each other and feel that they share things in common. There you go. Things him and his girl didn't have. And she wouldn't go do those things with him when I did. And she was okay with it. Sometimes she would come with us, and sometimes she wouldn't.
Yeah.
And you know, and she would stay home and cook, and when we get home, dinner be ready. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. It's not always about sex, Jay.
What year is it?
What?
What year is it?
What year is what?
Right now,
we're in 2023.
Yeah, that shit ain't happening.
2023. It's funny to me because this is all up and smash and dash and shit, but people want to get in their feelings about friendship when they can't even have a relationship. Kind of an oxymoron.
I'll tell you me personally. Go ahead, Gary. My bad. Was Gary about to say something? I thought.
Nah, I wasn't. Nah, I was just listening.
I'll tell you this, man. Look, me personally, me as being the man that I am, my girl's not having no male friends. The only time she's gonna have a male friend if he honestly, man, that shit ain't happening. Like, you can just go and throw that out the window. Like, it's not even a game. You better hang out with them females. And I get tired of like females sitting around here being sister, all this shit all the time, but then turn around when they in a relationship talking about, I don't like hanging out with them. But you defend them all the goddamn time, so go take your ass over there and hang out with them. You not fucking hanging out with no dudes. I got enough respect for myself to not disrespect myself. I'm not going, when it's me, I'm not going to be going out hanging out with a bunch of girls when I'm in a relationship, and she not going to be going out hanging out with a bunch of guys. That's simple respect. So like people can play it however they want. You can play Russian roulette with your relationship all you want. I don't care. You do what you want to do. But I know the odds are more likely women cheat more than men do. And you give them more chances in front of them, more opportunities to cheat, they're gonna cheat. I'm not putting nobody in that situation. So if a girl decides she wants to hang out with all her guy friends and shit, by all means, go do that shit. Don't come back over here though. You're gonna be gone.
But she can do the same thing with strangers. What does it matter? She could cheat with a stranger, or she could cheat with her friend. What does it matter?
Because you eliminate options.
Well, first of all, I mean, look, you got to set boundaries, right? And I think that when you lay down boundaries, now if she disrespects or goes over your boundaries, then of course, then clearly it's not going to work. But now, if you set boundaries and she operates within those boundaries, then things will flow smooth. And and I've dealt with that, right? So, but I will say this though. I think women, if she's dealing with a guy that really doesn't set any boundaries or allows her to get away with shit, then a lot of what you're saying, Jay, absolutely would happen. Right,
but right now, like I
hold on a second, Gary. Hold on, gentlemen. Gentlemen, hold on. Time out. Let me go ahead and introduce Miss Cynthia Bell. She's back on the panel. Miss Cynthia, introduce yourself and let everybody know where we can find you. Can you hear us? Miss Cynthia?
Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm chiming. I apologize. I'm late chiming in. Yeah.
That's okay.
You can. Okay. I'm just listening in.
So what do you have to say about this, Ms. Bell? Do you think a man in a platonic relationship?
Well, yes, I really do. It depends. I mean, if you're two mature individuals and there's boundaries. I mean, yeah, I mean, my husband has friends, I have friends, and they're just friends.
Okay, I hear you. Now, Jay, perfect example. I coached basketball for 19 years. I know a lot of male coaches. So you're telling me I can't be friends with them? We can't call each other and set up practices together like I did. I even brought my ex on to coaching to make sure that he didn't feel some type of way. I would do things to make sure that he would feel secure in the situation and not make him feel like something is going on. So what? Am I not supposed to have friends with my basketball coaches?
Did you do that just for his feelings?
No, I did it because he was knowledgeable in basketball and he used to play college ball and I needed an assistant. And then plus the fact that I was coaching so much and I was always the only female coach and I was surrounded by males, that was the third reason. So yeah, I did it for one of the reasons was to bring him on. So and plus I needed his knowledge because he taught all my big mans the game and I was teaching the guards the game. He's 9. So I utilize his knowledge and his skills and plus to make
I would say, why don't you just call them associates?
Why you gotta call them
friends? Why you gotta call them associates? Just call them. I mean, why do you call them friends? Just call them associates.
But some were friends. We would get together once a month and go to the sports bar and go talk and decompress. Always invite my ex, and he never wanted to come. That's not going to stop me because
that's an associate.
This is what I was doing. What do you mean?
That's not a friend.
No, we were friends because I knew their wives. I knew their kids.
I don't mean shit. I know my boss wife. I know his wife. I've been at her job multiple times. I ain't friends with her.
Well, some I was actually, and let's get back to the information. It says here, honestly, both can share what they really and feel with the other person without being judged. I mean, that's big. That's big, Jay, because sometimes when you're dating somebody, they don't allow you to be yourself sometimes. You can't be yourself sometimes because they tend to be judgmental or they're dismissive or they don't value what you're feeling or what you're thinking, but your best friend will.
Grace.
You know?
Grace.
What if and it's funny, my best friend's name is Jay. Go ahead.
You said in that definition that they allow you, your friend, your platonic friend would allow you to be yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're the friend that you referred to earlier. He wanted to be himself and fuck you.
Oh, and once again, like you say, that's, at the end of the day, that's what they want.
Look, I'm trying to tell you, like, just call them associates,
but
man.
Because they want it, that doesn't mean they're gonna act on it. You know, I want to fuck Denzel Washington. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get him.
I agree with that, but it still doesn't take away the mindset. If the opportunity presents itself, they're gonna take it, right?
Sometimes, not all the time. Hold on, I want to introduce Hank from. He said, "Good evening, Miss Grace, sir. I appreciate chiming in. I really do." Now you think this one? I need to have your opinion on this one, Hank. If you want to come up, I welcome it, or you can write in the comments. The topic is about, can a man and a woman? I kind of already know what he's gonna say because he is alpha to the 2000. Can a man and a woman have a platonic friendship? Hank? And if you do come up, please introduce yourself and tell people how we can find you, because he's got some good stuff. You had a 4-hour show last night that I watched, and in that 4 hour, I don't know how some of y'all can go 4 or 5 hours. It's like crazy, but I watched it. So don't forget to press the like, share, and subscribe button too.
All you gotta do, Grace, is just do it for 3 more hours.
No, I'm not going 2, 3, 4 hours. That's too much. That's too much. Then I gotta come on your show. You got something going on at 10 tonight. You know?
Look at Myrna.
Oh, okay. Look at Myrna. Oh my goodness. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Myrna. How are you doing, babe? Thanks for coming in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe button. Okay, so now with platonic friendships, boundaries is one of the most important, if not the most important element, Jay, of maintaining a healthy platonic friendship. It, help, it helps protect your emotional well-being by honoring another person's boundaries, and it demonstrates, hold on, it helps demonstrates respect for each other's need. Give me 1 second. Mr. Hink did come up, and I know he's gonna talk his shit because
I want to
that's
see
what he
who
does.
Hank look like. Who's
Hink,
Hank?
thank. Well, you can go on his channel and maybe
Oh,
he's
I
on.
know this.
There you go.
I know this. I know him, man.
You glad to see what I look like?
I know. Look, me and we done had conversations before, man.
How y'all good people doing? How y'all doing tonight?
I told
So
you I'd
good.
be busy on these YouTube streets networking. I am not even playing. Thank you so much for coming up here. I really appreciate
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
And
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
honored. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell people where we can find you.
Oh, again, my name is Hank, and you can find me I got a show called The Basement. I usually have a show on Mondays uh, at 7 Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and we just talk about sports on Monday. But on Wednesday, you can find me in the basement as well, and you can check me out there, and we talk about good man subjects, trying to get men to be better, do better, and act better. So I'm always encouraging and pushing that on a regular basis, trying to educate men and help men out as much as I can. But you can also find me on Sunday on LaPifin on Sunday at usually between 12 Central. You can find me there, and that's where I hang out at. But Miss Grace, I appreciate you having me up, babe. I appreciate that. Now, what was your question again? I started to cross over from
Absolutely.
YouTube to StreamYard. I want to answer your question.
The question is, can a man and a woman have a platonic relationship? Is it possible?
Well, let me before I answer, I'm interested in what y'all got to say.
I already know what you're
going to
say.
First. So
I told the
Well,
hell
I brought up this.
Gary?
Say yes, Hank, because I've had a male. Okay, go ahead.
I said yes because I dealt with 3 situations where I had 3 different platonic relationships. So yeah, it could definitely happen. Like, and there was boundaries set. So, and it was no problem.
Miss Bell?
Yes, I did a comment in the chat. I mean, my husband's secretary knew him before me. I mean, I'm not a jealous woman. I mean, I'm not. I'm secure in myself. I'm okay with it.
Grace, you already said yeah, right?
I said yes because I have a male best friend of 24 years. And the first thing I do when I see that I have a potential of going somewhere with a man, I introduce them to each other right away. I am willing to negotiate. Like, okay, let's say if I'm dating Gary and he has a problem with it, I will negotiate, but I'm not dropping the friendship. He's been there for me for 24 years. For somebody that I just met, it's not gonna happen. It's not.
So let me
especially
say,
if you give me an ultimatum.
Miss Grace, me and you gonna have to let him go.
Yes, sir.
You gonna have to let
Didn't
him
I
go.
tell you that? Did I not tell you that? He was alpha to the 2000s. But why? You haven't even met him.
No, I don't care. If I'm blessing you with my last name, he's got to be gone.
Fuck you talking about, man? She playing, man. She playing with fire, man. She keep doing shit, man. Look, Grace.
Again, I'm not gonna know all the details. How do I know if y'all haven't slept together? And there's some type of feeling or emotions behind
because
that.
I'm telling you, and you have to trust
believe
me.
that shit.
So now you want me to take your word, but I'm looking at this dude right now, like this motherfucker overthinking about her. Hell no, we're not doing this shit. No, we're not doing that.
Hey, Grace, before you say what you
I'm
gotta
sorry,
say,
baby.
I'm about
sorry.
to get up
Now,
out of
if
here.
we don't work out, bring him back.
Look, I'm about to get
As
up
long
out
as
of
we
here.
together, ain't another dick gonna be in this circle. It's me and you, baby.
Hank, hold it down and keep telling the truth. I don't know why they keep playing around here. They playing with fire. They trying to cause chaos and destruction. And that's some female stuff right there to be doing. Gary, I know you probably more understanding. That's all good and gravy, but you're wrong too. Ain't no point of bringing no extra conflict.
Bro, listen, I think listen. Listen, I'm talking from experience, and it's as long as you set your boundaries, right? I mean, if you're dealing with someone, see, here is the thing, man. If you're dealing with someone that has come from another relationship, that they bring their trauma and they bring their issues, and it's going to be problems. It's definitely going to be problems. But if you lay down your boundaries, right, on what the situation is going to be, how things are going to play out, I'm not saying, you run around freely with the chick or your chick run around freely with the guy. No, you said boundaries on how this shit is supposed to work. Now, if she don't respect your boundaries, then obviously, then that's not a situation that you deal in.
Well, that's what me and Hink both said. Like, look, you gonna be my girl. You better leave it. You better leave him. You better leave him where you found him.
Yeah. Hey, what if they had an intimate relationship before you, and they say, "Oh well, it's a long time ago."
I'm out of here.
Well, see, this is what, bro. But see, look, when you have conversations with your chick, at least the way I see it and the way I've dealt with stuff, it was like, look, if I feel that there's something going on or she lying, and I'm very thorough in what I do. So, like, I know some chicks can play the role and, they had this situation with the dude before you came in. This is why I like conversation. This is why we need to talk, right? Because I find all that shit out. So I don't want nothing sneaking up on me, right? So now if you're dealing with a chick that's genuine, upfront, honest, and takes care of her shit, then yeah, you lay down the boundaries on what's expected and how this shit is supposed to work.
So let me ask you this then, Gary. Since you said
go right ahead.
Your ex-wife, right? You can still be friends with your ex-wife. Your new wife comes in the picture. Y'all still gonna have a relationship. Y'all still friends. I say, baby, I'm married to her. I knew her. Some mother of my son. We still friends. You think she gonna be okay with that?
She may not be. Well, see, here is the thing. Again, no, bro. It's communication. No, bro. It's communication. If I'm about to marry this woman, we're going to talk about, hey, this is what's going on in my life, what's happening, what has happened and what's happening. You're going to tell me what's going on in yours. So if we're going to move into this, there ain't going to be no funny feelings or shit going on here. Now, if that ain't going to work, then it's not going to happen. Like, I'm a very different breed, bro.
Different scenario.
I'm a very different breed.
Different scenario, Hick, because they had a prior relationship. Me and my
how does a man supposed
never
to know
had sexual intercourse.
But how does a man supposed to know this for sure? We all know women don't always be honest, right? We all.
I agree. Listen, I agree with you on that.
You only take them for what their word is, right?
Yeah, but how many dudes? How many have the real conversation with them? Right? How many of them have the real conversation? Most dudes don't. Most dudes don't, and most women don't. So both say shit that they want to hear.
But it's not guaranteed that the truth's gonna come out, though, Garrett. That's what I'm saying. This is the honor program. We on the honor program right here. This is an honor system. I gotta just hope and pray it's what you saying to me is the truth. I can't prove it unless I get some type of evidence. But if I don't, I just gotta go off what your word is. And then
some women
you may show you a little sketchy in other areas. So now I'm gonna have to look at you sideways. How do I know this motherfucker ain't lying to me about this
Well, see that if shit's gonna be looking sketchy and you feeling sketchy, then that ain't a situation to be dealing with.
Again,
Like,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't accept it. We're not doing this.
I mean, too many people have toxic issues that they bring into relationships, right? And they need to take care of that shit first.
I agree. And one of them may be that secretary.
Do you have any female friends?
You said, do I have any?
Do you have any? Yes, sir.
That I slept with or did I not slept with? Yeah. That I slept with.
Well, you see, it's not a friend. If you slept with them, then that's somebody you slept. I'm talking about platonic relationship with a female. Do you have one like that? Do you have, or did you sleep with every female that you know?
It's a safe space, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
I do have one. I do have one that I haven't slept with, but again, there's no communication there. There's no communication. If I see her somewhere, I speak to her, we're cordial.
You and I is dating.
A lady, but as far as me having a conversation on a regular basis, no, ain't none of that going on. I had to talk to my lady. I had to talk to my lady about this. She had a male mentor that I could tell was showing interest. She didn't see the signs until actually he put his bid in. I said, that's what I was talking about. That's why I told you, once I'm in a picture, you got to cut all that shit off. Now, what you do before me, I can't help it. I have no control, I have no say so. But once I'm here, it's me and you. We in this circle, and ain't nobody getting in our circle but me and you.
So I'm just supposed to throw away 24 years of friendship.
You ain't got to throw it away.
Came in the picture, which you can leave me at any time.
He can't get no more. He can't get no more complications, Grace. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Grace. If he's a friend, he'll understand. I got a man here. It's about him. It's not about me and you. It's about him. I love him. He's gonna make me his wife. I gotta roll with him.
I mean, he was a groomsman at my when I got married. I'm divorced now. He was a groomsman to one of our weddings. And my ex-husband and him are becoming friends. I would come home and they in the backyard by the pool grilling, drinking beer.
Okay,
and they ended up becoming friends.
These are different dynamics now. These are different dynamics now, right? Now you throwing some more recipe off in this game. Now, okay, if your husband has a good relationship with the man, if your husband had a good relationship with this man, then I could probably see that. Now, let me tell you what I won't.
But you're not even willing. You're not even willing to meet him.
No, I didn't know.
You're not even
willing. Once you do all them once you do them dynamics in there, it kind of changes some things, right? As me as your husband, as long as I'm involved in a situation and y'all not going out to lunch by yourselves, and we all three go out. Okay, we all three go out. Then that means I've got to feel like I'm a third wheel.
I would never. And you're absolutely right, because okay, the last guy I dated, I don't bring just any guy that I date to my best friend, because if I introduce you to my best friend, that means I feel we going somewhere. That's like you meeting my big brother. So the last guy I dated, I introduced him, and he told me straight up, I'm not comfortable with this relationship. He's too touchy when he drinks, and I don't like the fact that he calls so late. So what did I do? I called him up. I said, but look, hold on, Hank. This is what I did. I said, Jay, you can't call me past 10 o'clock anymore. Okay? He does not want any phone call. If it's not my son, that's the only person that can call me past 10 o'clock. And if it's an emergency, you can call. But if it's just to shoot the shit, not call me after 10 o'clock. 2, we can't drink together anymore because he feels you get too touchy. I know how to make the adjustments and put the boundaries out of respect for my man, because I realize I should come first. What about that?
Hell, if he's touchy, No, there ain't gonna be a relationship. There's no
He
way.
was drinking. We were all drinking.
I don't. There's no excuse. No excuse. He shouldn't be putting his hands on you any inappropriate type of way. In front of me, around me, where I'm not there, doesn't matter. That's that bullshit. I'll be damned. Now we're not.
Let me read the comments. They're stacking up. So Grace said, "My best friend is a man." No, it's been 24 years and we ain't never fucked before. So why is it gonna happen now after 24 years?
Because he's waiting for that crack in the armor. I talked about this the other day. He waiting for that crack in the armor. He can sneak on through and get them yams. We talked about this.
Grace said, "My best friend is a man. We've been close friends for 3 years. We speak daily, and there has never been a sexual situation with each other. It is possible, you know." And then Grace also said, "See, come on. Hold on, guys. It's not out of respect for your husband. Then, although it would be severely break my heart, I would have to cut ties, biblically speaking, if I was asked or told to do so." Okay, Grace says she'll go ahead. And then I have my queen, I am Shalamika here. She always comes through. Thank you so much, Queen, for coming through. I really do appreciate it. She said, here on showing my comments. Give me just a minute. She's up in here. She's always one of my #1 supporters, and I do appreciate you, Queen. It's just not showing up. Okay. And then she said hello, and Grace came back and said, I mean, Grace, you can come up because you always got some good stuff to talk about. I don't know why my comments are not showing, but I'll just read them. It says here, let it pop up naturally. It says, "That's like a reformed drug addict remaining friends with someone on drugs. You are setting yourself up to vision. Bad day plus perfect storm, and hubby done said the wrong thing then. Self-controls go out the window for any woman with emotions. Take hold." I mean, I can't agree with that. I've been friends with this man for 24 years and we've never crossed the line. He had his woman, I had my man, and
Grace, he's waiting for that opportunity.
Go ahead.
He's waiting in the wings for that opportunity, baby.
If he hasn't taken it in 24 years,
it might happen in 25 or 26.
You know what? I do agree with you because I interviewed him last night and asked him the hard question. I said, "Jay, if I ever gave you the opportunity to fuck, would you fuck me?" And he said, "Maybe 15 years ago, but not now. I am not risking a 24-year friendship for sex when I can get that anywhere, but I can't get the friendship that you and I have."
But he was willing to risk it a 10-year relationship.
So,
he was willing to risk a 10-year friendship to do it. What's the difference? Grace, hey, look here. Okay. I gotta go. I gotta go. I got another obligation that I committed to. But I just want to come up here, say hello, and show my face and give you my support, baby. And I appreciate yours. Okay.
I love that podcast about protect yourselves because I'm going to show it to my son.
Please do.
It was really good.
Hey, your son to tap in. He's more than glad to. I'm welcome. He's always welcome to come to the basement. Y'all take care. Good people. Right.
Have a good night. So with that being said, Gary, so I guess we were outruled. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay because it's to be expected. It takes a certain, and I'm not calling my gentleman immature or anything, but it does take a certain kind of mental capacity and security within oneself to deal with that. you
Well,
know.
people have.
So
I I understand that people have their opinions, and sometimes they're strong. They're very strong opinions, but when you're able to set boundaries, um, and whatever those boundaries may be, right? You know, in my case, it was boundaries where uh, she, if she felt like she did something, or like I was, I didn't let her just go do anything that was going to be free, right? So go or do whatever she wants. But it was the situation. It was a situation where there were certain boundaries set. Hey, and if you like, well, first of all, if I feel that I couldn't trust her, then it wasn't even going to work, right? So that's one. But also, she also felt like she didn't want to make me uncomfortable. I'm like, nah, you're not making me uncomfortable. But here, if you're gonna like, here's what the boundaries are gonna be, and she was okay with that. I mean, and I think that you have to set the boundaries that's suitable for how you are or what you're gonna allow. Now, if you're gonna allow them to go on lunch dates every day or a couple of times a week, that might not be
exactly.
the
I
case.
mean, that slows down. When I'm dating somebody and I'm into somebody, he knows that the
But this
phone
is what I'm saying,
calls slow
right?
down, the time together slows down. And I would make
Absolutely.
it a point, if we're gonna hang out, my man's gonna be there. I won't
Well,
hang
this
out.
is what
I
I'm,
mean, because
and that's what I'm saying. The boundaries, right? The boundaries, and you understanding that. Look, I'm in this relationship, so here's how it's gonna have to be, because I don't want to disrespect my man. And even here's what my man is gonna allow, or here's what me and my man have discussed, and here's what the boundaries are gonna be, and you deal with that, right? But I mean, to say that, oh well, you can't have no male friends or you can't have no female friends, like, yeah, that's whack, in my opinion.
and then Grace said, either way, men are shown love by being respected by their women. If I refuse to cut ties with a gentleman friend, then I wouldn't be showing my husband respect. And you're absolutely right. But everything in a marriage is negotiable and compromise. I mean, I just can't see somebody coming in and telling me, hey, you can't be friends with him anymore.
Yeah,
He's like,
that's whack.
he's
That
family.
yeah. I mean, and
And
especially if it's someone that you've known years before your partner, like, come on, and they tell you, oh, you got to cut that person off. Nah, that's not gonna work.
Exactly. And again, here it says boundaries is one of the most important, if not, like you said, Gary, the most important element of maintaining a healthy platonic friendship. It helps protect your emotional being, and by honoring the other person's boundary, it demonstrates respect for each other's needs. And then it says, look at the different terms of platonic relationship. A few terms have emerged to describe different types of platonic relationships. The first one is bromance. This term is used to describe a close, affectionate, non-sexual relationship between two men. So I guess your homeboy, you know what I'm saying, or a good
Yeah.
homie friend. Then you got womance. This term is used to describe a non-sexual, non-romantic bond between two women. And I know everybody has heard is this one, work wife or work husband.
Yeah.
This phrase is sometimes used to describe a close but non-sexual connection between colleagues or co-workers that involves bonds and sometimes even the roles similar to a marriage. When I worked call center, I had a work wife and a work husband.
Well, listen,
And
I've had a work.
it's
No, I've had a work wife. I know what it is, because I mean, when you're in the office 8 hours. Well, if I was married, so I would be in the office more than I'm home. So your work wife, which is your secretary or your assistant, she has to know all about you, right? So the calls that's coming in, where you're going, who. So, and sometimes it may be a problem for if you're in a relationship with, if you have a girlfriend or you have a wife. Sometimes it may be a problem because the work wife probably knows as much as the wife at home.
Absolutely. And that's why Kevin Samuel said, just ladies, just go work for your husband. And I'm willing to do that. If my husband tells me, okay, Grace, I want you to quit your job and come work for me, it's a win-win situation. I see it as a woman because, one, I'm going to know what's going on in the business. Mm-hmm. I'm going to know the cash flow that's going on in the business, and I'm going to know where my husband is at 24/7.
Well, there you go.
I don't offend it to that because you're building with your man. Why would you want somebody else to build with your man when it could be you? Why would you want your secretary to pick out my gifts when I can pick out my own gifts?
I've seen it happen.
And then, yep. And then Grace said, too much compromise in any marriage leads to divorce. That's the area why it's effective, And she said, I don't like the truth I'm speaking any more than you do. My guy friend is my biggest supporter. I started my own YouTube channel due to his encouragement. Exactly. Where maybe the person that you were in a relationship hindered you. Because some people, I call them dream killers. And parents tend to be that a lot. A kid will come and say, hey, mom, I want to do this. Oh, you crazy. And it's like, I'm so happy that he encouraged you to do that because now you're doing what you're doing.
Listen, when you're in a relationship, at least a good, healthy relationship, your partner is supposed to be your biggest fan, right? And whatever you want to do, YouTube channel, TV, acting, doing your own business, your partner's supposed to be your biggest fan. Like, if your partner's not your biggest fan or your biggest supporter or your biggest encourager, you're probably not supposed to. You probably don't need to be with that person.
And then gonna get mad if the best friend is always there, and the best friend is bringing doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. Now you're gonna get in your feelings.
I've seen it happen so many times.
And the bestie's doing it. Now what? And then Grace says, I would love the man I would marry to some serious extreme to even consider cutting ties with my best friend. He's my heart and means entirely too much to me. So Grace, you and me are in the same boat. I have a friendship with this man for 24 years. I mean, my mother loved him. They would get together and go shopping. And my ex-husband, I'd come home and all of them are at the house. I mean, I made it a point for everybody to know him. I didn't hide him. I didn't sneak around with him. I knew his woman. I fell in love with her daughter and she became my goddaughter. So it's like, come on. It's not always about fucking and sucking.
Well, you were being very transparent, which is the way that it's supposed to be. And unfortunately, some people aren't like that, right?
Because I know the consequences. If I hide this man and I get caught, then now I lose the man. It's just better to be. Honesty is the best policy. And once you be honest with that person, at least you're giving that person the option.
Right.
To decide what they want to do.
Right. And see, this is why, and I know I sound like a broken record, but the communication, right? Communication, having real communication, the real talk. And I think all of that, when you're able to have that, then those things can definitely be avoided or nipped in the bud.
And then Grace said, I don't like the idea. I wouldn't want to do it, but I have to accept what's best for my future marital union and deny my wants for what God has planned for me. And Grace, I get it. I mean, I get what I've come to know how you are, and you're very by the book with things. But do you know how good it felt to see my best friend as a groomsman and then getting married and celebrating that special day with my best friend and my husband there at the same time. I mean, it's like it is possible. People have to learn to stop putting so much emphasis on whose penis went into whose vagina. I mean,
look,
life is so much more than just that.
I think
I
that there
can
are a lot
see
of
by
people.
me and him used to have sex, but we've never literally have had sex. Never. So I feel that because of that, like, I mean, I guess like King said, well, he hasn't tried in 24, maybe on the 25th year. No, we're in too deep to start that bullshit. And I'm not risking.
Bullshit.
Yeah, because sex does ruin things sometimes.
Yeah,
People get emotional, they get in their
sometimes
feelings, and
of course.
so now here are I wish the guys stick around for this, but the benefits of a platonic relationship, because literally there are benefits. There are several reasons why having a platonic relationship is important for your health and well-being. Here are some of the positive effects that these relationships may bring to your life. One, improved health. Research suggests that having love and support from people in your life can have important health benefits. Okay, now I have an ex-husband. Everything that I'm going through right now, thank God I have my best friend. You know what I'm saying? Physically, this type of platonic love and support can lower your risk for disease, improve your immunity, and decrease your risk for depression and anxiety. Don't you think I look forward to, he gets off at 11 o'clock at night. If I don't hear from him by 12 o'clock or 12:30, I'm calling him. What's going on? You good? What we cooking tonight? Because that's our porn right there. What are you cooking tonight? He shows me pictures of his plate, and he tells me about his day. I tell him about my relationships, and it's completely platonic. Physically, no, and then it lowers stress. Stress can take a serious toll both on your physical and mental health. Problems such as cardiac disease, high blood pressure, digestive issues, decreased immunity. It can also play a role in mood problems such as anxiety and depression. Having a strong platonic relationship outside of immediate family and romantic partnership has been found to help people better cope with sources of stress. Not only having that supportive platonic friendship, but also lowers the stress that people face in life. I mean, studies have been done, and I'm getting all this information because I do my resource by the Well Think Association, American Psychology and Healthline. This is where I'm getting my information. Then another benefit is it increases resilience. Platonic relationships can play a role in helping you become more resilient in the face of life challenges, whether you have troubles in your romantic relationship, problems in your family, work struggles, or health challenges. Your platonic relationship can support you as you weather these storms. One study found that one of the biggest predictors of a person's ability to recover after a dramatic or stressful event was the presence of strong friendships. Hello? Imagine, God forbid, I mean, something happens to me and I get into a car accident. I'm in a whole different state. My ex-husband ain't gonna come see my punk ass, but I know my best friend will be there as soon as he gets that phone call. He gonna be right there. He already knows what I like to eat. He already know he gonna have to stop by the house and get me a change of clothes because he knows how I am about my hygiene. I don't have to guess. I don't have to tell him what I need. He's gonna know. He's gonna know. So that's what I really have to say about the platon. I mean, like, I really did my research, and it's like, okay, what I've been feeling and saying for years is legit, because he's been there for me for the best times of my life and the lowest times of my life. I remember when I used to have the limousine company, and sometimes when I didn't have one of my limos running, I would come pick him up and the whole crew, and we go to the club. And while they're having fun showboating in the limo, I'm networking. I'm giving my cards out. I'm giving it. But to him to be part of that and the success and how much business he brought to me, you got to value that. And then Grace says, the value I see in a man is directly measured to the standards my best friend has taught me to have by his love that he has shown me. So that means, Grace, the man that you date has big shoes to fill, because you're matching him to your best friend, which is the same thing I do. I know nobody can ever match my dad, but I do compare a lot of the guys, and I do seem to be attracted to men that are like my dad. I hate to admit it, but I like alpha males. Even though as dominant as I am, I need an alpha male, because if I can walk all over you and you let me walk all over you, I'm gonna put my boots on like Nancy Sinatra, and these boots were made for walking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My only thing is, I don't mind being checked, but it's how you check me.
It's how you do it. Exactly.
It's how you check me.
Look, there's a way
you're gonna check me respectfully.
Look, there's a way to be. I think so. There's a misconception that I think when you're a dominant male or you're alpha male, it's about yelling and screaming, and it's not always about that, right? It's what you say, how you say it. Um, you know, having your lady or the ladies feel secure in your energy, know that she has to know that she feels safe. You know, so it's not always about being loud and yelling and demanding, right? And I think there's a big misconception with that, right? You can what's that talk soft and carry a big stick or something like that, or walk soft and carry a big, right? So it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be yelling and screaming and just, forceful. Is how you talk to someone and the way that you talk to them, and talk to them in a manner that, they feel secure in your words, in your energy, right? And I think a lot of guys, they don't understand that.
Yep. And then Grace came back and said, I've personally been single for 3 years and celibate because I know my value between my worth in Christ and the value of my best friend has taught me that I possess. It'll have to be an extremely great, and then she continues to say, man to budge me, or my best friend. Okay, Grace. So here, now I got a question for you. Would you ever consider your best friend and make him your man? Since, I mean, he sounds like a great guy. He's there for you. Would you ever, here we go with what Jay was talking about, men. And would you ever consider him to be a potential mate? Since you guys are best friends. I'm dying to know. She said, absolutely. Oh, okay. So does he know? Does he know this? Have you communicated this with him? Well, he gonna know now if he watching. I mean, why?
It's also been said.
Oh wow, she said, yeah. When's the wedding? I'm coming with bells and whistles. I'm wearing blue though. You already know that. She said yes, and then he is on the same page. Okay. So that one worked out. You know what I'm saying? That would be the best way to start, Grace, is y'all foundation started out being friends. And then she said, it's all about timing. Wait, hold on. I skipped one. She said here, so now it's about timing. Okay. So we continue to work on the friendship, continue to be there for your kids, and work on building a relationship. And now you're gonna, because isn't that what it's supposed to be, Gary? You're supposed to marry your best friend.
I was just gonna say that you're supposed to, it's been said, or one of the major sayings is that you marry your best friend because you build a relationship. Like you literally build a relationship with your friend, which becomes your best friend, and you start to move. So y'all know each other. So y'all know each other extremely well. So when it comes to the point of you want to get married, then a strong foundation has been built. The majority of these marriages within the last 20 years, they don't fucking do that. After meeting after about a month or 2 or 3, and they want to get married.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then Grace said, our friendship is strengthened in Christ. We grow in the word together. That's the bulk of our conversation, scripture. That's awesome. And that's how it's supposed to be. God, it's a triangle. It's supposed to be God at the top and then man and woman at the bottom. So that's exactly how it's supposed to be. And but unfortunately, a lot of men ain't having it. A lot of women ain't having it. And I think it's sad because like Hank, he's asking me that I'm gonna have to cut that off. But you see, he kind of, well, that's different now. You're bringing different dynamics. So I got a little wiggle room. If me and Hank was to date, I got a little wiggle room. And since I know he's alpha to the 5,000, I would definitely know how to move with him and my best friend. I would have to make it a point, Mary, to not make him feel some type of way. I would never hang out with him by myself. He would never come to the house while he's not home. I mean, there are things that I can do to make sure that a man is secure and feels comfortable, especially if they voiced it. Like the last guy that I dated, oh, he's too touchy. He can't call past this time. So then I know, I'm like, bro, we can't drink together because he wasn't touching my ass or anything, but he had his arm around my shoulders. That was the worst of it. And I guess he just wasn't having it and whatever. But you still ended up.
Yeah, but it's still, it's still setting, it's still setting the boundaries, right? So, and everybody's boundaries is different. Some people's boundaries are a little bit more stricter than others.
Absolutely. It's just, and it really depends on how much I value the new relationship, or how much I can see in the future if it's gonna work out or not. But you can't ask me to nip something in the bud that's been going on for 20 years. I have one person here. I had to laugh at this. Hold on, I gotta read it. They said, hold on. If the woman was ugly, I wouldn't have a problem just being friends with her. I'm like, wow. So of course that means there can be no sexual connotation there, but that's exactly what a platonic relationship is. And then it says here, we can be friends if she's especially not attractive, but that doesn't mean you can't be friends if she is attractive. Just will never cross that line, and she can give me that friend that gives you her friend. There's been a lot of times we try to introduce some of my friends to my friend, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Cynthia is back. Hold on one second. She's come back. And then to finish what this person is saying, but the reality is, if she's attractive, she's in her right mind and makes a repeat sexual pass, then I'm hitting it. So it's when we were teenagers, 14 or 15, I really don't think that count. No, I can't say that. Do you let your current partner know? The reason why it's so easy for me to be candid with men is because we sincerely never had sex together. I know if I had sex with a guy, they're not going to be able to be discreet about it. That's why I know I could never bring them by the new guy, because it's just not going to happen. Because once you've been embraced by Grace, you're embraced for life. And I I got guys that still call me from 20, 30 years ago, just checking in on me. You know what I'm saying? Not that they have any interest, but still, you know what I'm saying? So
I got it. I got
I
it.
wouldn't do that. So that's why I know it's easy for me to be honest with it, because it's honesty. Miss Beck, welcome back, my dear.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Listen. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
You know, I was
Yes.
listening to the men earlier in the podcast. I had to step away for a moment, but you know, it goes back to, you know, women. We've come so far, and men have always had a wife, a girlfriend, and friends. And I don't see what the problem is. Why can't we as women in a relationship or married have platonic friendship? When you know, I mean, a woman knows when a man is making a pass at her. It's up to her to put it in check and say, look, either it's going to be this way or no way. But I think that the men that are on the panel, it's like we've come so far. I mean, listen, I'm not going to go backwards. I don't think men and women are not to go is not going backwards. Listen, honest and upfront in the relationship, as Mr. D said, it's about communication. If you communicate, okay, some women lie, but if you're in a relationship with a woman, you listen. Maya Angelou said, if a person show you who they are, accept it. It's going to show up. It's going to show up. So
and
my thing is,
everything that's done in the dark.
Exactly.
Ms.
And
Bell,
if a man disrespect you, he disrespect you, know that you're married in a relationship, then you know what, he's not a real friend, and vice versa for the woman. You know, I mean, I said earlier in the conversation that my husband's secretary knew him way before I did. And you know what? At this point, listen, everybody has a past. And, you know, we can't be naive to the fact, okay, you may have slept with Susie, but okay, you know what? Be upfront and honest, because it's going to come out. You know, so I mean,
whatever. You're absolutely right, Ms. Bell, and it's just like I just cannot see myself cutting off a 24-year friendship for somebody that I just met. Now, if I'm going to marry this man and he felt the way that gentleman felt, and Jay, it's going to be a tough one for me, because that friend has been there for me, has done things for me, has taken care of my own mother. It's just I was there in the birthing room when his daughter had a baby. I was there. So this just too much history for me to just cut those friendship ties for somebody that I just met. And Ms. Bell, I have missed out on some prospects because they gave me an ultimatum and they said, no, you can't be friends. I said, well, you know what? Then this is not going to work.
Yeah.
But you know, I like what Mr. D said. Mr. D is a seasoned man. You know, he's a seasoned man. And when you're dealing with a seasoned man, see, you ain't got to worry about all that nonsense stuff, because he knows a man who knows who he is, it's not gonna have a problem. You know, that's just Cynthia opinion. I've been on this earth a long time, and you know, I would never expect my husband to cut off a friendship that he's had before me for X amount of years, even though we've been married almost 30 years. But you got a life. We all have a life. And so many women have let go our lives for men. It's just not worth it. I'm sorry.
And you're absolutely right. What I try to tell people is don't, and women are most guilty of this. We lose our individuality when we're with a man. A man should be part of our lives, not our whole life. And we lose. And I told myself that the next relationship I'm in, I'm not going to stop doing the things that I like. I like coaching basketball. I'm a sports chick. I'm going to invite you. You don't want to go to the baseball game with me? That's okay. I'll go by myself. Oh, I'm going to go with some friends. But I'm going to stop going because you knew this about me beforehand. Now you're trying to stop me from going, going out and watching my sporting events and watching this. Okay, perfect example, Miss Bell. If Gary has a female friend, the only thing that I would ask of him is I want to meet her, because us women, we're gonna feel the energy, and we're gonna see what's going on. And then I'll be like, look, I don't feel comfortable with you guys going out at night, but having lunch and whatever is okay. But if y'all want to go out and hang out at night, then I have to be there. I mean, come on, that's a little bit too much. I'll bring her to the house. I'll cook for her, and we can all hang out. Maybe I can to my best friend who's single, and we can get them together. You know what I'm saying? Again, and we preach this. I might as well make a t-shirt and said embrace communication. It's all about communication and setting boundaries. But people don't want to talk. People want to talk afterwards, after it happens.
Well, also too. Well, also too, they bring some of the baggage from the old relationship into the new relationship, and then they have trauma issues that they have from the old relationship or old relationships that they're bringing over, and that that obviously hinders with some of the things that's going to happen in the new relationship, so they can't even communicate effectively.
Exactly. I agree. It's all about communication, and I listen to the news and I read a lot, and my thing is relationships. We're so far, there's such a gap between women and men relationships, and on an intimate level, not even talking about platonic. So, if you know who you are, man or woman, then you have to be, you just have to know who you are. I mean, listen, I'm one of these kind of women. If you come to me, you say, Cynthia, this isn't working, listen, okay, I'm gonna be hurt, but I know how to move on. And I don't know why it's such an issue about platonic relationships. Why men have such a fear, and some women too. Because I've got some friends, their husband came on, talk to another one. I'm like, give me a break. I mean,
but I think the men feel that way because the men knows that how men can be dogs and how they are. I mean, look at Mr. Hink. He can only think of one female that he didn't have sex with, and she was probably ugly, and that's why he didn't have sex with her. Okay, but I have male friends that I haven't had sex with have hit on me. Absolutely, that I can say. But how to say I'm not interested. I just I know how to say I got a man. I'm not interested. Now, if I have a man and that friend hit on me, can't be friends with him while I have that man, because now it's awkward. Now it feels uncomfortable. But Miss Bell, the thing is, you said it. People nowadays are socially awkward. They don't know how to communicate, have the conversations. All they know is how to scroll in social media, and to learn the hard way that if I have, let's say you and me, Ms. Bell, have a serious conversation and it's getting just too deep, and we're texting and I'm misinterpreting. I'm gonna call you now. I'm picking up the phone. Okay, Miss Cynthia, I'm not understanding what you're trying to tell me. I may be interpreting something the wrong way, and now a whole friendship is over with because I interpreted a text wrong. So when I feel that I'm not understanding or this doesn't sound like you, I'm like, okay, now I'm picking up the phone because I value you in our friendship, and I'm like, hey, Cynthia, Gary, what are you talking about? Remember, Gary, that miscommunication with the texts and everything, and you just decided to leave me a voice message. Because we were going back and forth, and you're like, look, I don't know which, but we cleared it up because we weren't understanding each other through text messages. And that's what people don't understand. We have to be able to talk face to face. We have to be able to have these conversations, not through text messages, not through emails. We just have to be able to, I remember I learned this from Dr. Phil. If there's ever a time where you have to have a serious conversation with somebody where you really need them to feel you and understand, you take 2 chairs, some other, and you make that person eye level, and you talk to them at face to face. They can't move, I can't move, and you can put your hands on their knees, or you can hold their hands. But the whole purpose of that is so that person can sit their damn ass down and really listen to me and what I'm trying to talk to them about, because obviously through the phone or through texting or email or social media is not getting through to you. Now, after you have that, we call us Italians, we call it a sit down. After you have that sit down and they're still not trying to comprehend or understand, then you know what? Then that's when it's time to cut. It's time to cut ties.
Yeah, but
it really is.
Mr. D, I don't think you know that Grace was in 2 of my productions that we did.
She told me. Yes.
Yeah, she is a darn good actor, and let me tell you something. A lot of she was very believable when we was interacting with the character that she was playing. She was very believable because you know what? I believe that some of the issues she's been there. She's been there, and the thing about it is, all the time communication. I don't know why that is an issue. We need
because
to
they're not taught to communicate, Miss Bell. These kids are not taught to communicate. They're taught to communicate through a cell phone. They're taught to communicate through texts. They can't even write an essay, let alone you're supposed to have a topic sentence and supporting details. You ask them a question and they'll say yes or no. Okay, but why do you feel this way? It's sad because, and even if they didn't even have autocorrect, they wouldn't even know how to do proper grammar and punctuation or spelling. It's like they don't use their brains anymore. And I've always taught my son, it's kind of hard now because he's a teenager. I've always told my son, you the open platform to express yourself. Just remember who the fuck you're talking to and be respectful. But I mean, I told you this, Gary. One day I guess I was going off and he said, Mom, gotta tone it down. You're yelling, you're all over the place. Let's go to our room, take a break, and we'll come back to it. How can you not respect that from a young kid who he had the sense to say that to me? I didn't get offended. I didn't say, oh, who the hell? I said, you know what, Jordan, you're right. I'm gonna go to my room and reset myself because I don't want to sit. Like one day I said to me, he turned around and said, well, so I'm like, oh, but you see, I have given him that open forum to be able to express himself, because if he can't talk to me, which is the closest person to him, how would I expect him to talk to his teachers? How would I expect him to talk to his friends?
But it's okay that someone that we love pull our coat, because my daughters, they pull my coat and they be like, Mom, really? Because I can go from 0 all the way up to 365, but I'm getting better. But it's okay to pull my coat, and it makes sense. I'd be like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna think about it, and then we'll come back again. But I'm trying to understand between men and women. Why I have 3 brothers. They got a wife, they got a side chick, and they got a girlfriend. I'm like, what the hell? Y'all in y'all 60s, how y'all got the energy to have a wife, a side chick, and a girlfriend? I'm like, listen, what?
That's why men don't want us to have male friends.
And when you talk to them, when I talk to my brothers, I'm like, you know what? I know where your head is. Can no woman talk to you? Because I don't know what planet that they're on, but I really believe, and I know it can be done. Men and women can have platonic relationships, because I have male friends, and I know when a man is coming on to me, and I'll check it. I've been in a situation where I had to check it, but you know what? That doesn't stop me from being a friend. Hey, you try, you try, So, but I don't know. It was a good topic. I'm surprised more people didn't chime in. And that's another thing that it bothers me. We give the information. You give the information. You got men on the panel. It's kind of like church. you got ain't no men in church. You got men. You got Mr. D on the panel, and people. I'm not. Why aren't they chiming in? Because they need to be understood. They need to know what's going on. They really do. They really do, and life would be a lot easier on them.
But that will come in time, Ms. Bell. That's why I always try to do a preview of my show the day before, and I put it all over social media. I wasn't expecting Mr. Hink to come on. I met him through Lapete Network. Because when I'm not busy working on my stuff, I'm YouTube surfing and networking with other people. And look, he came on and he talks about men. You want to learn about men? Go look at some of his stuff, because he teaches men about things. And last night I saw a show that he did, Black Men Protect Yourself. And he was talking about how Michael Irvin was in trouble now over some BS, which was all a lie. It was all fabricated. And now he's suing the lady and the hotel for $100 million. So I told my son, you need to watch this, gentleman, because there are things that he's out there teaching men that I can't teach him because I'm a woman. So that's how we can try to get in the heads of men, Ms. Bell, is by watching their podcast.
Okay, let me comment. Let me say this.
But next week is going to be a good one, guys.
I was watching the news and about Tiger Woods. His girlfriend of 7 years now, she's suing him for $30 million. There are some women out here, they will lay low, they will go through the process, but they're waiting for the outcome. It's the same thing in relationships. Now this woman is trying to get her the disclosure that she signed be thrown out because now she wants $30 million. You know what I say? Good for him. Good for her. Because you know what? Men, wake up. Wait, there's some women that lay low. You listen, oh yeah, you everything, yeah, Big Papa, you everything. But that one moment, that one time, you know what? I had enough of this BS. Let me just go ahead and get my money and run. It's the same thing in regular relationships. It's the same thing. So anyway.
So next week, guys, we're gonna be talking about the 31-year-old woman that got pregnant by a 13-year-old boy, and she's not even doing jail time.
Stop.
Yep. And my angle on this is that women fight for equality, but they want equality benefits them. Why is she not going to jail? Why is she's gonna get probation? Do you think if that would have happened to my son, I would have been doing time? Because she gonna get justice, but she gonna get it my way, because she robbed that young kid out of his innocence. Now he has to take care of a baby at 13 years old, and you're 31 years old. You know if the roles were reversed. If that was a 31-year-old man, if that was a 31-year-old man that impregnated a 13-year-old girl, he would be thrown underneath the jail. So why are we allowing women to get away with a lot of bullshit? And that's what our topic is about next week, guys.
Okay.
So we have hit the 2-hour mark. You know how I try to be a stickler for that. So we're going to close out, of course. Miss Bell, because I know you got to go. So go ahead, you close out. Tell people once again where we can find you and where to look for you.
Okay, I'm Cynthia Bell. You can reach me more on my email, of course, is cynthiabellproductions@gmail.com. I'm on YouTube channel as Life Turns Podcast. I mostly deal with health issues because that's my background. I've been in healthcare corporate for 45 years. But I dabbled into relationships as well. And I'm on Facebook. I'm Cynthia Wellness Products. It has a list of my products that I do. I believe in health, building up the immune system, longevity. That's what I believe in. So I had a great time tonight. I had to step away. I do apologize.
No problem. Thank you for coming. Ms. Bell, do you ship I mean, can I order product and you have it shipped
Yes,
to me?
I ship. I ship all on the West Coast, California. I use FedEx. The products I don't use
I think I want that
preservatives.
beet. I want that
That
beet
beet
one because I'm anemic
that
and I
beetroot
need
is a
that.
popular one, especially with the men, Mr. D. That beetroot is something else because let me tell you something.
I heard
It
about that.
my men clients, as soon as I make it, I'm selling it, honey. So
Okay. Okay.
yes, honey. My husband likes it
I
too,
know
so
that's right.
we share it.
And I really, really appreciated your show about the colonoscopy because that's important.
Yes,
I learned from you that March is colonoscopy month,
our
and
colorectal month, and
there's
it's
people as
affected.
young as 20.
Yes, it used to be a Caucasian, a white man disease. Now of course, Chad from Black Panther. He was in his
Mm-hmm.
40s, and so now the
Mm-hmm.
insurance companies, the medical people are changing now to get tested within their 40s. It's killing our women
Mm-hmm.
now, our Black and brown women. Yes, it's very important that we get screened for colon cancer.
Absolutely. And again, Ms. Bell, thank you for coming. I always
Thank you.
appreciate you, and you're always welcome up here, okay?
Thank you. You all have a great night. I'm going to watch Family Feud with my husband.
I know that's
All
right.
right.
Okay.
With Steve
Good
Harvey,
night.
right? Because I love that
Yes.
man.
Yes. All right. Good
Okay.
night.
All right, Gary. Good night, my dear. Close out with your thoughts. Let people know once again know where we can find you, and then I'll close out, and we will be good to go.
Okay. Again, thank you for having me. My final thoughts is on this is basically, um, females can have, you know, men and women can have a platonic relationship, and it's just about setting the particular boundaries, communicating with each other on what's going to work and what's not going to work. Um, you can find me every Friday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on The Real Discussion, which I co-host. Um, it's on the Boardwalk Global Media Network, which I'm president of, and we have a couple other podcasts that we do every week. You could find us on YouTube, The Real Discussion. You could find us on YouTube, Boardwalk Global Media. You could find us on Facebook, Boardwalk Global Media, and Instagram, Boardwalk Global Media.
Absolutely.
And
And Gary, thank you once again for coming through. I do always appreciate your input. And as far as for me, you guys already know how I feel about it. I'm not giving up on my best friend of 24 years. We've been through too much. You can either accept it or reject it. Am I willing to negotiate and compromise? Absolutely. But to cut all ties with him, not going to happen. I mean, you got to be some type of special guy for me to even consider that. Okay. And as far as where I'm at, embrace the grace. I am everywhere embracing y'all. I am on TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. Embrace the grace. You'll just put in them blue hearts and you'll always find me. And again, next week, we're going to be talking about that 31-year-old that impregnated a 13-year-old. I did have to give a shout out to somebody. I met these awesome young girls at my job, and they actually have a business.
Okay.
And I told them that I was going to give them a shout out. So give me just a minute. Let me find the name. I do have it. Hold on. Just a sec. Yeah, because I was very proud of these young ladies, and I said, "Hey, you got to give me the name of your business so I can give you a shout out." Even though I know a lot of our topics are not, age appropriate, but I don't care. I had to give them a shout out. I know it's a high school here. Oh, come on, Grace, where is it? I have so many people write things to me. Of course, I can't find it right now, but that's okay. I got it. I'm gonna keep keep giving them a shout until I can't give them a shout out anymore. But anybody out there who has a small business and needs a little bit of exposure, please feel free to send your information. Definitely feel free to send some product, because I actually did that on my first couple of shows. I had a bakery and she sent me 6 cupcakes and I fucked them up on the show. They were absolutely great. So as a matter of fact, since I'm talking about her, I might as well give her a shout out. But this company is in Florida, but she is, if you ever go to Florida, hold on, I gotta look her up. Sugar. Hold on. Where you at, honey? Where you? Sugar Crazy Treats.
Okay.
Yes, Sugar Crazy Treats. You guys look her on Instagram, and her stuff is good. If you ever in Florida, in Sunrise, Florida, go check her out, girls. I promise that I will give you a shout out. I just can't find. You see, I got so many stuff, but guys, please feel like, that's why I asked Miss Bell about her products, because I'm actually going to buy one. I'm going to drink it here on the show, and I'm going to push it, because I don't believe in pushing businesses that are already big time and making money. I believe in pushing the mom and pop businesses. Those are the ones that keep the economy going. You know what I'm saying?
There's there's an event that happens every year. It's called the Small Business Expo. They tour the whole country. I'll send you the link. And what it is that at certain venues in each city, they have small businesses that come out for, I think it's like at least here in New York City, it's a 2-day event, right? But they do it all across the country. It's called the Small Business Expo. I'll send you the information. Yeah, absolutely. You know, like, I'm a big drinker of Fiji, but you know what? Y'all better catch me now while I'm just I'm small. Don't try to holler at me when I blow up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be too late then, because then you're really gonna have to pay me. But with that being said, right? Yeah. With that being said, Mr. D, thank you so much for coming through. I really do appreciate it. We're gonna be next Monday, same channel, same time. You guys have an awesome day. Thank you all for coming out. Peace. Have a good one, Gary. All right, you too.